Hello everyone, I am TrainerAnade and you are joining us as we start day 3 of the Lady Arcader Super Showcase 2023, an all-women charity talent showcase event running from July 6th until the 9th, benefiting CARE. The Super Showcase features a bunch of talented women showing off games that they love and other, fun showcases. We had a anonymous donation for $9.99 that says, "Have you heard the good word of the Cult of the Lamb?" And that went towards the Emote art showcase, which character we are going to feature this morning or this afternoon, whatever time zone you're in, which made the decision to the Lamb for Cult of the Lamb is going to be our featured character, which, speaking of, this is our first, run today, the Emote Art Showcase, being run by the awesome SchalaKitty, and I think we're ready to start. So when you are ready, Schala, take it away.
Well, Anade, thank you very, very much for that. You're wondering probably right now, why do I have up the Super Showcase logo? And that's because I wanted to surprise both our wonderful host Anade and my amazing commentator leggystarscream with something a little special for y'all.
Oh,
Oh
my God.
So I asked them both yesterday. I'm like, please give me an adjective that describes you. Anade gave me goofy, and Leggy, your partner Zoe gave me tall, and then you gave me legcellent. And I'm sorry that I ended. Well, I'm not that sorry that I ended up giving you like the trade offer look. Trade offer.
but
You give me friendship. I give you Pokemon facts.
Scala, I
Yes.
may have to send you a little bit of money to make that a full emote. Just saying.
Oh, I'm glad you both like it. And then I just did I just did like a cute like hype one for myself. But anyway, so let's actually talk about the Emote Showcase. First of all, thank you all so much for donating. I always super duper appreciate it. It's wonderful to be able to raise some money for CARE and also create a new emote for the Lady Arcaders. Before we begin, I will show you what did not win. So what did not win was Judy from Animal Crossing, and everyone was posting like so many cute pictures of her with her big old sparkle eyes and everything. But this is what I wanted to draw. Was I love her shocked face so much. So this will have to be just saved for another time. But let's get to the winner, and then also I'll get the music and we'll get the timer going. So your winner, we're going to do a very chaotic Cult of the Lamb emote.
Lamb.
I should have gotten some Cult of the Lamb music, I just realized, for my music collection. It's all, surprising absolutely no one, it is all Square Enix music. But, I'll start with something on the more intense side. But otherwise, it's just going to be shuffling. But we can go ahead and start the timer. So thank you all so much for the donations. I really loved how this one came out. So to let people know what we're kind of doing, we are going to be working on this emote in Inkscape. Nope, I don't want to do that. I want to set this to simplified mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... Oh. Did you all lose me for a second there?
Yep, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm back now. I am back now. It's all fine. Everything is fine. It was too much power, is what it was.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hold off on the chanting in case we break another computer.
No, we don't want to break anything. No. Give me 2 seconds. And, I'm just... For, Oh, that's... Oddly enough, I was trying to figure out a way to share music, and now the music player does not want to be shared.
Ah, well.
Oh, well.
I will just pretend.
You'll just pretend that you can hear my banging tunes. It's fine. Anyway.
Right. I'm used to pretending that I can hear the music.
But let's talk about what we're doing. So we're going to be designing this emote in Inkscape. Inkscape is a completely free vector software program. It is one I highly, highly recommend. And what we're going to be doing for this emote in particular, let me just sort of roughly draw that out, is we're going to be making use of Inkscape's clone feature. We'll get there in a little bit. But for right now, we're just going to start working on our lines. So what I like to do is I like to hand draw the lines and then kind of go in and touch them up. Inkscape has like an auto smoothing if you want to do hand drawing of your lines, and then you can just go and touch them up. This is actually a little thick for this design. There we are.
There are lines on the art.
There are lines on the art. There we go. We'll go 6 pixels. I usually like to draw the emotes way bigger than they'll ever be, just because then it gives me the chance to really get in with the details. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through and sort of doing the base, doing a bunch of like the lines first, and then I'm going to go in afterwards and touch them up. And I'm drawing on a tablet. I use an EXP pen tablet, which if you would like a affordable like a tablet, it's a pretty good one. But yeah, and like if you could do me a super huge favor, if you could pass on any questions that chat might have, that'd be really beneficial, because I can sort of half-watch chat.
Yeah, I've got chat up.
Thank you, thank you. You also can do what I'm doing right now, which is Bezier curves, where you sort of draw, and you could decide if you want to... I need to get a little bit faster at like doing the curves as I'm going. I'm so used to sort of putting my points down and then sort of going back and touching them up. And we're going to be adding later on just some effects to for what we call line tapering. But for right now, we're just sort of getting all of our baselines drawn. You can see it kind of went a little more. So for folks who want to like pick up vector art, my biggest suggestion, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to do this a little different. We're going to show off a cool tool, which is circle tool.
Circle.
Circle. This needs to be a little longer. And then,
I always appreciate a good circle tool.
Yes. I really like theirs, and then we're just going to get rid of what we don't need. And yeah, to answer in chat, this emote will go to the Lady Arcaders channel for everyone's use. If you use Lady Arcaders Lurk, that was the emote we did for Lass of Dusa from Hades. And what I like to do for these is I have like what I've sort of set up as my rules for doing these. So my rules is that the character has to come from a game that is being showcased in Lass. That's number 1. Number 2, it has to be a female or non-binary character. Number 3 is it has to be a sort of like an emote emotion that the Lady Arcaders don't already have. So, when I was sort of looking over the schedule, I was like, oh, we have Cult of the Lamb. I would love to do, like, a chaotic, like, lamb emote. So, It's always great when that sort of stuff comes together. We're going to do another circle here for... And you can see it sort of kept the break that we made in the other one. But we could just go... Be like, no, I want a full circle again. Thank you. Go a little smaller. I'm using both Control and Shift so I can manipulate the size of the circle all at once. And I have it set so that way you can have your transform settings a couple different ways. Oh, it's doing that because I have Snap on. Turn Snap off for just a second. So I have mine set that that your stroke size will always stay the same size even after transforming.
I love just like watching the technical aspects of just like the use of art tools. It's really interesting.
I mean, obviously I am extremely biased as someone who's been doing vector art for like over a decade. You know, I like a lot of the ways that, like I said, it's a different experience as compared to doing raster art. But see, like, for example, like I made like that cape and I'm like, well, oops, don't want to do that with that line. But I wanted like a, you know, I can sort of just sort of take that line, pick it up, and then I can move it over here and I can start manipulating it. I originally picked up vector art because it was art you could do with a mouse. Which actually I'm doing mouse right now. I usually do mouse when I'm doing like the more smaller finicky things. Turn off Snap again. So it allows me to have a bit more precise control. And you can also see that I'm leaning in zooming in so we can sort of see.
Yeah. One of the things that's always been really cool to me about vector art is just like how inherently mathematical it is.
Yes, and Inkscape has some really nice functionality with that. One of my favorite things to do, we'll pull out a shape and we'll do a little example. So we have the circle over here. I'm going to pull off. I just made a copy. So you can see up here I have my location, so that's X and Y. Then I have my size, so width and height. And I have it set so that way width and height are both changed proportionally. But the fun thing with Inkscape is you can put in math into this. So say if I want it 2 times bigger, I just put ×2. And it will scale it automatically.
Whoa.
You also could like say I want this 1/6 smaller. And it will do that math for me. So that's actually something I really do like. I mean, the folks behind Inkscape have been working on this, I think did they have like a 20-year anniversary? They had like a pretty big anniversary recently. But it's a really amazing, like I said, it's all, actually I'm going to do these lines differently. The whole thing is open source. And like I said, it's 100% free. And if you want to learn, there's plenty of tutorials available. And people will walk you through like how to do pretty much, whatever you want to do. And there's some really cool tools for even getting more raster-like effects. When we're talking about digital art, there's basically 2 types. There's raster, which is based around pixels. And then there is vector, which is all sort of based around points and lines. So what I'm doing is I'm telling, actually here I think I can bring up the code panel. Yeah, so this is what is actually happening. Let me see if I can kind of get this so people can see. So this is what's actually happening in the background of everything. Is there's like a giant XML file that's keeping track of everything that I'm doing. So it's all code underneath the hood.
is so cool.
Yeah, that's why like I said, I often recommend to folks, I'm like, yeah, if you want... My my recommendation for, like, if you want to do digital art, but, you know, maybe your hands are a little shaky, maybe you don't have, like, the money for, you know, a fancy tablet, I'm like, well, you could do art in Inkscape. And like I said, it's free, and you could do it all with a mouse. You don't need anything beyond that. And then my suggestion for people who are like, well, I would like to do art in real life, but, you know, I don't feel, like, super, like, confident about it. My suggestion there is look into Zentangle or Zendoodling, because all it is it's just repeating patterns. It is nothing else. And it's a great way if you want to do abstract art. And even if you're somebody who, like, wants to do more, like, figure art, it's still really good to pick up because the whole thing with Zentangle is you just go straight to pen. There's no sketching involved. So it kind of forces you to get real comfy with using a pen. And then you have to just embrace the mistakes. You will make mistakes. It will not be perfect, but the idea is basically that you fill up your space so much that it doesn't matter.
So what I'm hearing is, at the end of the day, it's all about the happy little accidents.
It is. I've done some really nice Zentangle art, and it's something where, you know, like I said, if you look at it up close, you're going to be like, oh, this, you know, there's definitely mistakes here, but the idea is that when you pull back, you kind of almost don't notice the mistakes, because there's just so much going on the canvas. You can sort of see when I did this sketch, I didn't quite get all the way out to the edges. I like to sketch on paper and then do everything digitally. So I'm taking a look to see where we're at right now. Okay. So almost ready to start messing around with our duplicate feature, but we're not quite there yet. We're going to do the crown. Well, let me actually put snap back on. There we go. Oh, chat talking about doing perler art. Perler art is really fantastic. It does take a little bit of getting used to, for sure, though.
Yeah, IMO, if you want to do art, do art.
Do it! Like, 100%. Just go do the art.
Just make the thing. Just make the thing. That's all you got to do.
And if you think it looks awful, it probably looks better than you think.
We are all our hardest critics.
Very much so. And you can't get better at any type of art unless you just do it.
Yep.
Yeah, to quote Adventure Time, the first step to getting kind of okay at something is sucking at it.
Yep. Trying to get this to, there we go. You also can use, here, this is another cool trick, you can use holding control will make it so that way your turns snap. So I'm snapping to 15 degrees with each motion of my mouse.
Oh, that is cool.
And you can actually set, like, what amount of degrees you want it to snap. I like 15, just because it divides very nicely into 360, and it has, like, just enough control. So that's the one that I tend to go with. All right, so fun fact, this is going to involve at least a little bit of science on my part.
Science?
Science and math?
Science and math.
In the morning?
In the morning, I know.
Live on Twitch?
I know, right? So what we're going to do, so we have kind of everything we've done so far. So up here, what I've been using to sort of copy objects is there's a duplicate function. And the way I have it set up is that the duplicate function is actually on my mouse. But there's also this function, which is called create clone. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit create clone. And then we're going to hit flip. And now we're going to use this. I'm holding control to keep it so that way everything moves in a straight line. There we go. And now we've gone through and we have a mirrored emote. We're not going to we're not going to keep this perfectly mirrored, but this is like a great place to start.
Mm-hmm.
But what we're going to do is this is where the science is going to come in. I'm going to try something over here. With, oh shoot, I forgot that I forgot the ears when I was drawing. So I'm going to have to add in ears. Give me 1 second, let me actually add in ears.
Time to get, as they say, like a Great Lake.
There we go.
Eerie.
Oh my god, Leggy, please. Leggy, you should go back. You should watch the, I have to make sure I get the exact name of this game right. The Cave Crawler Run. Just trust me. Just go watch the Cave Crawler Run.
Will do. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to catch as much of the showcase as I've wanted to, but I'm definitely going to go back and make sure I watch all the VODs.
Oh, yes. That one is so good. But it's also, yes. it's full of puns, is the main reason why I'm suggesting it to you.
Excellent. But yes, chat, if you donate $5, I will either tell more puns, or I will not tell puns. You tell me what to do.
Or donate $5 with puns, and I will inflict them on everyone else.
This is true.
Ooh.
I can make my evergreen joke that if you donate $7, I'll tell you an FF7 fact. Usually I do that when I'm doing something that's actually related to FF7, but it's evergreen. If I'm at an event and you donate $7, I'll tell you an FF7 fact. Do we have to be playing FF7? No. I will say I did get into the Ever Crisis beta. Alright, oh wait, let's do the science first, and then we'll talk about that. So the science is... so I'm going to go over here. There's nothing happening over here right now. This is our path effects panel. So we're just going to hit plus, add path effect. You can see there's so many that you can add. There's tons of different fun things you can do. But I'm going to go over to my favorites, and I'm going to hit taper stroke. Yes, the science works. Oh, did it? Wait. Oh, that's weird. It's showing up on one... Oh, did I accidentally duplicate? Is what I'm thinking. Yes, I did. Haha. There we go. Accidentally made 2 copies. But now, watch this. We're going to just gonna make this, give a nice little taper here. Oop. And then I'm going to pull this up to have it like that. And now, when we go look at the other ear, it matches. So we're going to be doing a whole bunch of that to some extent. There's some parts where we're going to go in and link stuff. So here, I'll sort of show this. So for this part, so for the mouth, you can see right now I have this side, which is the original, and this side, which is the clone. You can tell it's the clone because down here where it says fill and stroke, it says unset. That's how I usually tell. But you can still... So, oh, that's right, you can't manipulate the nodes because it's a clone! It's designed to be, like, exact same as what the original is. See? So if I make one little adjustment, it makes it on the other side, too. But what we're going to be doing over here is we're going to hit this unlink button. Now it's its own shape, and now I'm going to go here, join nodes, and now it's one shape altogether. And we're going to be doing that like a few times. This is because taper stroke is very particular about some parts of it. So we're just going to add that taper here. If I tried to do the taper before joining, it would break. So,
Cool.
Again, that's just because taper stroke is a very fussy setting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get around the fussiness of it.
by the way. Let me know when a good time for donations would be.
Anytime. Just hop right in.
All right, well, I'm going to start with, we have $50 from Zello.
Aww.
Saying, there's nothing more wonderful today than seeing a wonderful community who cares so much to support care. I can't think of a better joke at this hour. Much love to the Lady Arcader staff, volunteers, and showcasers who make this happen for a great cause. Thank you so much. And that $50 went towards the Sonic 1 Forever character choice poll, which, by the way, chat, that is going to be the very next game, is Sonic 1 Forever. So we do have that bid war if we're going to play Sonic or Amy. Currently, Amy is in the lead, $60 to $50. So it's really close.
Ooh.
And I mean, this is Lady Arcaders. I think Amy should win, but you know, Sonic is a pretty traditional choice. So I don't know. You know, you can decide what we're doing.
I don't like this taper. I'm
Look.
going to undo that.
I just think he's the actual fake hedgehog around here.
Also, Leggy, if you do listen to the stream, I got FF1 music right now.
Hi, yes, I'm pulling it up.
Oh, wait, no, this is FF2. Never mind, I got it wrong.
It's still good.
It's still good. It's the Rebel Army theme, which I think is one of the best of the original 3 FF games. I always love this one. All right, but this one we will definitely put a taper on. Especially this part of it. We're listening to the make sure I get this exact album. The Final Fantasy series acoustic arrangements. I highly recommend all the Square Enix acoustic arrangement albums. They are all 100% worth your time. They're so well done. Oh no, I want to link that. Thank you. And there we go. Now we're going to put the taper on here. I have to admit, doing the lamb's mouth was actually one of the parts of this that was whoop, right about there. I found to be the trickiest, but I really like what I ended up with in the end. And one thing we're going to do is we're going to just widen the head slightly. So we're just going to pull over here. Oh, it'd help if I would actually select the arrow. Give it a little pull. Do I want to go slightly wider? Yeah, I'll go one more tick wider. And now we can kind of just move. Oh, that's right. So I had to I'm going to have to count because moving does not count towards the mirror. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And by default, I have stuff set to move 1 pixel at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And obviously you can see how the original sketch wasn't perfectly symmetrical. That's fine. I don't mind that because I know that when we do the final art, it will be symmetrical. Sort of taking a look. Not going to be doing any particular tapering here. I just want to link this. So cut there. There we go. I'm going to do the same on the eye.
Then can I read another donation?
Sure, go for it.
All right, we have $10 from Tana Bonana. It says, if I donate $10, can I request an FFX song? :3.
Actually, yeah, sure.
Hey, there we go.
Here you go. Here's the acoustic arrangements version of To Xanarkand.
So, does anyone here have any FF10 facts? That's the real question.
I mean, they have been making more and more overt jokes about FF10 2 Shinra being related to FF7 Shinra, which I always found really funny. I'm trying to think of other good, like, FF10 just isn't my strong suit is the thing.
You know, that's fair. I still haven't beat it yet. Like, in the end game, we just got an airship, and then I got distracted and started playing other things.
That is fair. I mean, you know, for folks who I guess aren't super knowledgeable about like voice actor stuff, I do love that Waka's voiced by John DiMaggio.
Yeah, and I saw someone in another chat talking about how their opinion was that FF6 was the prequel to FF10.
Ooh. I can give you an FF6 fact, but I want to hear this theory first.
Yeah, specifically leading on the like way that FF6 ends and the notion of like Magicite being effectively processed espers as like a groundwork for FF10's faith.
Oh, I like that. Alright, what I'm going to do for a little bit is I'm just going to turn off the sketch layer. There we go, so I can actually see just the lines that we're working with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unsync the fluffs, basically. So that way all of the fluff can be done independently of each other. Oh, did I accidentally undo the arm too? That's fine. I actually do want to kind of do this arm independently.
Ah, I see. The fluff is now the Backstreet Boys stand in the chat.
Leggy, please.
Get it?
That's right. I was going to talk... Yes, I get it. I do realize I was going to talk about Ever Crisis. Which is... I personally have been enjoying it. I like the idea of a free way to just experience a whole bunch of FF7 if you want to. Obviously, it does come with some... You know, there are gacha mechanics. I'm not going to, like, shy away from that aspect of it. Oh. Those nodes got a little confused there for a second. They didn't quite know where they needed to be. But I like the way I've only played the original game chapters, and I do like how it kind of splits the difference between the original game and FF7 Remake, where it's mostly the original game, but there are like some details that they added in FF7 Remake that they carry back, basically.
Ooh, snazzy.
But it's more like, it's like small like character things that didn't fit into FF7, but that they clearly liked having in the remake. Oh, I have to adjust this node. The one thing with Taper Stroke, it's very particular about which type of nodes it wants to interact with. So it's going to look a little weird for a second, but that's because I have to kind of make it so that way the Taper wants to play along. I'm going to be smart and save. There we go.
Saving is important.
Saving is very important. Well, Tapers, like some of the more complicated, like path effects and filters are what is most likely to make Inkscape crash. It's gotten much, much better from when I first started using it. But again, that's sort of like an open source sort of software kind of thing. You know, folks are going to do as much as they can to make it stable, but, you know, you kind of have to, like, you know, just, like, understand, you know, it's still, like, a small, like, volunteer team working on it. Anyway, the only two things I really care about in FF7 Ever Crisis, well, correction, 3 things! I care about 3 things! I'm doing, like, the whole Monty Python bit of keep adding things. I care about 3 things. 1, hopefully they're going to actually port over like the Before Crisis storyline, so that way people can actually experience that. Because because 1, you can't play that at all in Japan, where it was originally released, and 2, it never got released in English. So it'll be interesting to see if they, how they handle Before Crisis. 2, it has new art of my favorite, Crisis Core only character, and, you know, I couldn't be, like, cool, and, like, you know, pick, like, an interesting character. No, my favorite has to, of course, be, Lizard Deacericus, who's just a big old nerd. But he has new art, though, so I'm happy about that.
I mean, it's always interesting to get new Lizard art.
It is!
Given just, like, how rare that actually is.
I mean, it actually is. Like, trust me, I was very surprised, when, Crisis Core Reunion got announced, and I'm like, what? There's going to be new Lizard content in the year, 2022 when it released?
Please, we're starving. A scrap, and they're like, oh. You want a full plate?
Look, they actually did very well by Lizard in Crisis Core Reunion, which is a weird sentence to say. I won't give away the whole thing, because I think you should, if you want to play Crisis Core, you should go play Crisis Core. Or now you can play the condensed version, Ever Crisis. But anyway, in Crisis Core Reunion, they do a much better job explaining, like, Lizard's backstory and everything that's going on with him, which the original game kind of didn't. Like, there was, like, enough there that you could kind of figure it out, but I'm really glad that they actually put more work into, like, adding additional context for him specifically. So there you go. Though, in thinking of, also, the last thing about Ever Crisis that makes me happy is that it feeds directly into my very specific FF7 fan theories. There you go.
Excellent.
Yes.
By the way,
yes.
Speaking of FF7, we have another donation. $7 from Metroid Crime saying, Sephiroth hype!
Always Sephiroth hype here. This is actually something I was thinking about, and just because it's really, really funny, I will tell you about my favorite, completely low-stakes FF7, like, debate/drama. Which does involve Crisis Core. So one of the things you can do in Crisis Core is you can join a whole bunch of fan clubs. Because, you know, the soldiers in-game have fan clubs, because of course they do.
Nerds!
Yes, let me just break this real quick. Well, the interesting thing is all the fan... Oh, kind of broke things on this side, too. It's fine. Well, we're gonna fix that. Well, the interesting thing is that the fan clubs are all female. But the discourse comes from when you join the Sephiroth fan club, which, by the way, is the only one that's gatekeepy. You have to answer a quiz to prove that you're a real Sephiroth fan before they let you join. Which I thought was great. I'm like, of course they would be the gatekeepy ones. But anyway, afterwards you get, like, your first, like, fan club newsletter, and it is explicitly about Sephiroth's shampoo and, like, hair care routine! And so the argument is, can you take the hair care routine as canon, or is it Shinra propaganda? And this is an actual debate people have. Because, like, what they state is that he likes, very, like, soft, like, scents, so like, rose and vanilla, but a lot of people are like, no, that's just to get his female fan base to buy the shampoo. That's a man who smells like leather and dried blood.
Well, so... what if it's both?
It's probably... I'm on the side of that it's probably a little of both, frankly.
Like, you know, if I had to bet, I would say that, you know, Sephiroth probably uses industrial strength, does not really care about the scent, just keeping it, you know, detangled and healthy. You know, because you have to care about that just to keep the hair that long. And then when asked about what his preferred scent would be,
yes,
exactly, leather, dried blood, and the slight hint of lavender.
I mean, I always like the theories that he always was a little like you could always tell that he wasn't like 100% human. Yeah, no, Chad, I think has it. Yes, no, he definitely just uses mane and tail, which would be the normal joke, except there's no horses. What's the chocobo equivalent of mane and tail?
Counterpoint. Sephiroth is a Brody. Horses are the Final Fantasy equivalent of chocobos. They're the fictional species that people use to ride around places and pull carts.
I mean, the thing is that, you know, clearly, like, the concept of Sleipnir exists because Odin exists. So, horses are, like, at least in Final Fantasy VII, are definitely a mythological kind of thing.
Yeah.
There actually was, here you go, in more, like, incredibly, like, small and inane Crisis Core debates. There was a whole debate for a while over exactly what Lazard's belt buckle was. Because in the design notes it said horse, but it looked like a dog on the PSP version. Now they, of course, have the updated models with the, you know, all the refreshed looks of things. And now you can tell that it's actually like a knight chess piece, which I think is really, really cool.
So that definitely is like, well, technically the horse people were correct.
Technically the horse people, well, the thing is that, like I said, the notes always said horse. But it didn't really look like a horse on PSP. So we're kind of like, you know, but dog would be like equally like symbolic, because there was a whole big thing about, you know, like dogs of Shinra kind of thing. But no, it's a knight, it's a horse. So there you go. You got so many FF7 facts out of me for only $7. But we had that big dollar from Zello, big donation from Zello earlier. So consider this like back payment and all that.
Yeah, but you know, don't go too deep into this. You might get yourself worse.
Oh my God, Lucky, please.
Look, I have to pay down the $50 too.
This is true.
And by the way, because I didn't mention, I want to say Amy is now in the lead $67 to $50 for that Sonic 1 Forever choice. So Amy definitely taking the lead more, but still only $17 ahead of Sonic. So it could switch up. We still have about an hour, you know, before that game.
Can you all tell me what time it says on the timer, just so I know?
It's a little over 37 minutes, or almost 38 minutes on the timer.
Great. So we have about a little less than an hour.
Yeah.
Great. I wanted to try to get into color, so I wanted to sort of see how this was going. I really just have to do kind of like the center. Oh, I have to copy back over this taper that I did on the ear. That didn't get copied over.
Yeah, look, Chad, I just have to say, you know, this is a practiced talent of mine. I even entered a contest for these sorts of jokes before, submitted nearly a dozen puns. I was hoping, you know, to at least get one prize, but sadly, no pun intended.
Alright. And what I am going to do, like I said, I like the idea of having there be a little bit of variation, even though it's mostly symmetrical. So I'm going to link this ear a little raised up. And now I'm going to go over here. We're going to mess around. Oh, this one was still linked. I'm going to unlink that. But as we've been talking, I've been having the Gold Saucer music going. And chat, if you want to, I can play you the most unhinged version of the Gold Saucer theme.
You want it. You really want it.
I'll queue it up for the next one. I'm waiting for this one to finish. Okay. So this is my favorite version of the Gold Saucer theme, because it starts out completely normal. And then it just keeps going. Like, even from the start, you're like, there's something a little weird here, but you're not exactly sure. There we go. Kind of copied that over. Had to kind of adjust that arm a little bit. That's what a lot of like vector art is. A lot of it's just like careful little adjustments. Which again, you have like kind of the luxury to do because you can just keep editing as much as you want. There we go. So I did want to make the fluff on this side not exactly the same as the other fluff. No, I don't want to quite do it that way. I want to do this via nodes. Draw this one up a little higher than the other side. There we go. Dude, this little cheek fluff. I do love the lamb's design. They're so cute, but also so evil. Well, I shouldn't call them evil.
I mean, it's a game about a cult. There's inherent evil.
Oh, here we go. This is where the song starts going off the rails.
Okay, I'm going to listen to that for a bit then.
Okay. This song is very fitting for the lamb. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, and can I just take a
Yes, go
second
ahead.
to I want to remind everyone, like, why we're here besides this awesome art and puns and Final Fantasy facts. We are raising money for CARE. So, founded in 1945, CARE is a leading humanitarian organization fighting global poverty. CARE has more than 7 decades of experience delivering emergency aid during times of crisis, working in over 110 countries. Their emergency responses focus on the needs of the most vulnerable populations, particularly girls and women. To learn more, visit www.care.org. And of course, you can type !donate in chat. We do have a bunch of different incentives. There is currently, if we can reach $200, which we're about $109 away from, we can get that Beat Mania IIDX Infinitas extra stage. We also have those bid wars. So the next game, Sonic 1 Forever, we have the character choice between Sonic and Amy, with Amy currently in the lead. And then a little bit later, we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword file name, which is currently completely open. Like, none of the choices have any bids on them, so you could decide what that file name is. And if you donate $5, Leggy will give you a pun, or will stop punning, depending on what you want. If you donate $7, Schala will give you a Final Fantasy VII fact. So, like, you could donate $7, go towards an extra stage in Beatmania, help choose the Sonic 1 Forever character, and get a Final Fantasy VII fact, and it's going towards CARE, like, all of these great things. If you have even just a couple of bucks, definitely !donate in chat.
And now we're on to completely different music. I actually really like this track. I love it like when like the really old games get like cool instrumental tracks. Alright, I'm going to slightly adjust these horns. But we're looking really good. Kind of had to do some cleanup up here.
Here.
Oh yeah, Saga 2 and I love Saga 2 or Final Fantasy Legend 2, I feel has one of the best Game Boy soundtracks. But 3 also has some really good music too.
And I really feel like the Final Fantasy music just across the board is amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no. Final Fantasy composers just do not miss.
And the thing to me is when they go all out, like even if it's a like a side game or something silly, like there's no reason for like the World of Final Fantasy soundtrack to go anywhere near as hard as it does.
Right?
Like just as like an example, but World of Final Fantasy just goes like way harder than I think anyone expected it to.
Yeah, World of Final Fantasy is just like when you get the team at Square Enix to be like, okay, write that fanfic of your dreams. Have fun. Keep it PG, but have fun.
And then they did. I mean, real talk, like actual interesting like side game stuff is like Opera Omnia. Now, to be fair, Opera Omnia is extremely dense, so I really haven't played. I only played like a little bit of it at launch, but like there's a fan archive to basically take every single cutscene and make it into like text, so you can just read it. You have to know that there's like over 2,000 cutscenes in Opera Omnia.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually really interesting to read. I don't know, there's a lot of like really like fun like lore stuff in there. And I like it when like there's parts of it that are like not so subtle like follow-ups to different like parts of like Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like a stealth sequel to both like Crisis Core and like FF15 and all this sort of other stuff. So it's just interesting to kind of watch from the sidelines. Alright, we're almost ready for color. Which I did have a lot of fun picking colors for all of this.
Yeah, I saw the palette you had pulled out earlier.
Yeah. I looked at a whole bunch of different pieces of official art. I tried to sort of split the difference because there's a couple of different styles that they use. I'm actually going to put a taper on this purely to just help with hiding the bottom of it. Yeah, I'm going to pull this up a bit. Alright, this one I have to... No, I don't have to unite that one. There we go. There you go. I'm going to make that a little rounder. And then I like this taper here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of make it curve a bit down here into the fluff. Because again, we want them to look very fluffy.
Floof. Give us the floof. Give us the floof.
Alright, to put these two together. There we go. And then add that taper. There we are.
Yeah. I am definitely out here on the unhinged side of things. I did not sleep much last night.
That's fine. You know me. I welcome punchy commentary. I usually am the punchy commentary, so...
That is true.
Telling people to glue things to beach balls and all that kind of stuff. Well, volleyballs.
I mean, my form of commentary tends to involve the secret donation.
Ooh, the secret donation. Go on.
Are there any donations?
Oh.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. there happens to be a $5 donation from leggystarscream. I wonder who that could be.
Never heard of her.
Says, did you know that Lamb's hat is both sentient and hiding from the cops? That's right. It's on the lamb.
Oh my god, Leggy. I'm glad you I'm glad you paid the tax on that one. Because it certainly paid the tax on me.
And by the way, I wanted to mention that donation, of course, went to Beatmania, and I was corrected. It's Beatmania 2DX Infinitas.
Yep.
And towards the Skyward Sword file name of Uwu.
Uwu?
Uwu.
So currently, Uwu is in the lead for the Skyward Sword file name. If you maybe want it to be something else like Groose or Booples, you could donate and change that. And remember, the game after this is going to be Sonic 1 Forever, and we do still have that character choice bid war. Amy is in the lead, $67 to $50 over Sonic. So she's winning for now, but not necessarily for the game. So, exclamation mark, donate in chat.
Decide I'm going to make the cape a bit more dynamic. But that's what you can, like I said, you can just decide that later. Alright. I'm doing a check real quick to see if we need anything else. I know we need the center of the bell. And we need to touch up here. So let me do that real quick. Oh, here, I'll show a fun technique. So say like I want to get rid of this line down here, but I don't necessarily want to make it so that way I can't go back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a shape here. And I tend to make these shapes in pink so I can know what they are. So I'm going to take that shape and let me make sure that it's as high as I need it to go. Yeah, that should work. So I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take our little eye outline. And I'm going to save before I do this. And we're going to set inverse clip, and ta-da!
Fancy.
Yeah, so it's visually cut, but it's still there. Like, if you see, if I select the shape, you can still see, like, the line of it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I want to go... Yeah, so it's still able to be edited later. But, alright, so I think we got about a half hour left, right? If I'm...
Yeah, a little bit more than a half hour.
Okay, we can start... Yeah, we're at a good point where we can start in on the color. And in case I don't finish this in the allotted time, I will obviously go back and finish it. So that we'll have it for the channel.
We're not going to get a partially black and white emote?
No, that would be fun. So, the nice thing about Inkscape is Inkscape has a lot of layers. And it has, like, I will show this off because this is kind of interesting. I'm in
so
simple.
It's like... Sorry.
It's like an ogre? Is that what you're going to say?
No, I was going to say it's like an onion. Ogres are like onions.
But anyway, it has a simplified layer view, or you could have complex layer view, and it will show you every single line that we've been making. In case you want, like, incredibly granular control. I'm going to go back to simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to unlock the color layer and lock the line layer. So that way we only are drawing on the color layer. And now we can start coloring! Yay! So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take from my swatches that I have over here. And usually with coloring, I'm kind of more, I'm more chill about how I'm putting stuff together. Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making use of all the layering functions within the layer itself to cover things. But usually what I like to do is I like to do my flat colors first. So start there, and then I go in and shade afterwards. There's no, you know, it's one of those things where, like, the order that you do things, there's no kind of really, you know, right or wrong way to do it. Oh, I do realize I had to... I'm going to swap what layer is locked for just a second. Because I want to just make a small adjustment here. There we go. That'd actually be on the active layer. There we go. But the one nice thing about Inkscape is there is no concept of drawing on the wrong layer. And I could explain that. So say I drew this and I was like, wait a second, that's on the wrong layer. That should be on a different layer. You can just go over to the layer menu and you can just be like, just move this. Just move this somewhere else, please.
Oh, hell yeah.
That is really nice.
Well, that's because, remember, everything that we're doing in Inkscape is a shape. It's like, it's all points and lines. So because of that, it's just like, yeah, just take this one blob and move it to a different spot, please. Which works a little differently than, like I said, than raster, which is a collection of pixels.
Where you actually have to keep things separate and try not to flatten it too fast.
Yep. I mean, I've had stuff that I did in Inkscape that I worked in only one layer. That was not smart of me, but that's fine. I've gotten better about layering. But the other fun thing is, remember, we've been doing a whole bunch of symmetry. So we also can just save time here. Flip.
Yeah, my drawing tool of choice for the computer has always been MS Paint, so layers are still a foreign concept to me.
I mean, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what tools you're using. Use whatever works. Whatever makes you happy. The best, like, advice I've ever seen is just do whatever makes your heart make a smiley emote. That's what we should all aspire to. Is just making the smiley emotes in your heart. Oh, I realized I still didn't go back for the bell, but that's fine. We'll get the flat colors down, then we'll go back for that.
Yeah, that's a detail that you'll probably want to shade out, and...
Yeah. But to sort of make the lamb look more like the lamb, so we'll... which I might adjust these colors slightly. These are like wool colors. Because remember, we are going to have some interesting lighting happening with it. Because we're going to be full of fire! We're going to be very full of fire. There's a whole fire background that's going to happen with this.
Fire shaped like a friend.
Sure! Sure. I mean, there's only one fire that's shaped like a friend, and that's Calcifer.
Legit.
Though apparently there's going to be a new Ghibli movie coming out, but they've done this whole thing where they have, like, literally just not done any, like, trailers or advertising for it, so no one kind of knows what it's about. They're like, we're just making a new movie. I think it comes out within the month or something.
Holy crap, that is soon.
Yeah, it's something like that. I saw a little bit about it on one of the accounts about Japanese news that I follow.
By the way,
yes, go for it.
Okay, so we have a donation of $10.01 from Critique Courts.
Hi, Critique.
I'm dying in the chat and had to donate to thank you for all of your amazing commentary. Thank you so much for that donation. Aww. And that brings us up, because earlier we had the 99 cents donation. We're back at a round number at $1,362 total raised for the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase 2023. Also, that went towards Sonic, but Amy is still in the lead by $6.99.
Yeah, I decided I'm going to go a little lighter on the wool. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so at other marathons that I have participated in, there is the concept of Team Order versus Team Chaos. Where Team Order likes the nice round numbers, and then Team Chaos likes to make, ridiculous numbers that are completely unround or just one or off by one.
So like $5.43, something completely random.
Well, for that particular event, which I'll give a quick shout, that's the wonderful Desert Bus for Hope. They hold giveaways, and to sort of be included in the giveaway, they usually have you donate extremely arbitrary amounts, so that way they can easily find you in the system. So
that's
you're
amazing.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like buying a raffle ticket, but they can't legally call it a raffle because of all the rules around raffles. It's more that, hey, if you donate, there's a chance they'll, in my case, they'll send you a plushie.
Mm-hmm.
It took me donating for like a dozen years before I won one of the raffles. But I got...
Sorry, my brain shut down a little bit. All I heard was chaos.
Chaos!
Yes.
Oh. We're not killing chaos, though. Now, what did I do up here? Did I actually go... Okay, I see what happened. Well, that should do what I thought it was going to do. Don't mind me, I'm busy being persnickety.
Yeah, but on that topic, speaking of my sleeper pick for best Final Fantasy game, Stranger of Paradise is really good, y'all. You should play it. Trust me, it's actually good.
Did you play... How is the DLC where it crosses over with FF2? Or is that not released yet?
I will be honest, I have not played any of the DLC yet. Debbie and I kind of just went through the base game, and then we never picked it back up afterwards.
Alright, I did find it very interesting that they've decided to do an FF2 crossover, so I was like, okay, you have more of my attention. But that's because I'm one of the, I don't know, small collection of people who legitimately likes FF2.
So I actually beat FF2, the Pixel Remaster, a few months back.
What did you think?
So I tried to play it and beat it for years. Having the console boost options was the encouragement I needed to finally finish that game.
That's fair.
But I really liked it. I think the level up system is more maligned than it probably should be. Though, it is definitely a product of experimentation, and therefore you can definitely still feel a lot of the flaws in it.
That's fair. I mean, my whole general vibe with FF2 is that coming from those of us here in in the West, in North America and such, we could never experience it like when you were supposed to experience it temporally.
Right.
It is very much a game that was trying something new in the 1980s, but we didn't get until like FF10 had already come out. So it was never going to quite align, like, kind of with our own. We couldn't appreciate it in its time when it was like actually trying to do some really interesting things and brought in a lot of like really for a game from the 1980s. It does try to do some interesting things with its storyline.
Oh yeah, definitely as well. Like the fact that it was also, the fact that it was like character driven.
Yeah.
In a very real way that you did not see very much at the time.
Oh yeah.
But I do think, the big thing that people talk about for that game are its systems and a lot of the, quirks thereof. And honestly, as someone who fell in love with the Final Fantasy Legends series, thanks to, I don't know, someone who might be making art right now.
But we were talking earlier about how Final Fantasy Legends actually really good.
Yep.
And I'm very sad that we didn't get the remakes. Because the remake of 2 gives me the thing that we need more of in this world, Leggy. What do you think it is?
Polyamorous adventuring parties.
That's right! Heck yeah, it does.
Schala, we've talked about this enough. Yes, that was a softball.
That was a softball. That's okay, you did a good job catching it, thank you.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I think FF2 is definitely worth people taking another look at, especially if you play it on one of the console pixel remasters where you can avoid some of the...
You can soften it.
Yeah, you can soften a little bit of the, frankly, jank of its era. Because, let's face it, a certain amount of the frustration of porting Final Fantasy II is trying to update it to feel more modern, while also keeping its identity.
Yes.
And there is a very real and difficult tension there.
Yes. And the other reason why I like FF2 is because I feel that the story is very universal. And I like the fact that, obviously there's a lot of, Final Fantasy games which feature, like your chosen hero kind of things. And, you basically, in a lot of the games you get told by, some rocks to go save the world, that kind of stuff. Whereas FF2 is you have like a group of young people who see, like oppression and, like moving across their world, and they're like, no, it stops here. It stops now. It stops with me. And then they go and they punch the Emperor in the face.
Well, I think technically the speedrun blood sword's the Emperor in the face, but same difference.
Same difference. Also, I love the blood sword in FF2. Though I did
it's so good.
It is so good. Though I did the thing where in my Game Boy Advance playthrough, I gave Ricard the blood sword so I could take it to the bonus area. which just trivialized that whole section. If you do that. Oh, let me cut these. I didn't cut these earlier. Oh. I'm just sort of making some little adjustments here so this area kind of is a little smoother. I will say, we've talked a decent amount about like remakes and that have like done really well for the original. All the shout outs to the Live Alive remake. which I am so glad that exists, and now more people have a chance to know that game. And that it did so well by the original game, and what it added was what that game always needed. But kind of needed it to come in a second wind. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Surprising absolutely no one. I like it when remakes of games have like a bit of a conversation with the original, more so than just being a one-to-one update of the original.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm also an FF7 remake I don't know how to say apologist, but supporter.
Stan?
There's a number of people who understandably did not enjoy what that game did. I understand the why of all of that. I'm not going to fault them there. However, I'm just like, well, fine then, more FF7 for me. And I know you want to play that, so I won't spoil you on it, but the main reason why I support the remake as much as I do is that it gave me something I never thought I could have, which is I get to play FF7 and I don't get to know what's going to happen.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's a good point.
So that's why I'm cool with the remake. Plus, also there's like been stuff like there's like a whole extra novel I have to read at some point. Yes, I'm the person who reads the Final Fantasy novels. Hi, at me.
I think this is the least surprising thing people have heard all day.
I think it is. I mean, I don't think it's surprising to anyone that I own the English copies, but I do own the Japanese FF2 novel. Which is very cool, but also kind of weird.
So I've heard.
But that's where, like, the Emperor gets, like, his name from and everything. It's all in the novel. But, no, I want to read the newest, FF7 novel, which is, Tale of Two Pasts. Because it's all about, Tifa and Aerith. And from what I understand, it goes in some wild directions.
Smooching?
No, sadly not smooching. Trust me, I would have been like 10 times as much like I must know, like if it had the smooching. But the novels always like the FF7 novels are like if you think like regular FF7 is like weird, like the novels are on like a whole other level. I'm actually gonna go more like that color. Which, here you go, my favorite, like, silly FF7 novel fact is, there's a character named Fabio. Just hanging out in FF7.
Let's go.
That's perfect.
Sadly, Fabio dies from being stupid, but he makes bad choices. But you can't win them all.
Look. If you're Fabio, at least you get to go out in a blaze of glory.
He kind of literally does. There's all sorts of weird stuff in the novels. There's like a whole section where it's just like FF13 or Nanaki. Nanaki just gets tired of dealing with humans. It's just like, no, I'm just gonna go live in the forest for like 2 years. I'm gonna hang out with bears. I don't want anything to do with humans for a while. And I'm like,
I wish that were me.
Yeah, like legit choice, respect. There's a lot of Rufus Shinra getting kidnapped. He gets kidnapped, I think, like 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to deal with Evan Townshed. Oh, Evan. The saddest of the Shinra siblings that we know about. See, that's my I don't do it, but like if I ever was to do like a FF7 like gatekeep test, that would be it. I would just ask like, okay, who's your favorite Shinra sibling? And then people would be like, what? And I'm like, yeah, there's 3 of them that we know of.
Like, obviously, like, the sort of gatekeeping nonsense that people do is gross and awful and terrible. However, like, the weird sorts of esoteric trivia questions bring my heart joy in very real ways.
I mean, but the answer is that there are 3 Shinra siblings. That we know of. The novel implies that there's definitely more out there. But we know of at least 3. But one of my favorite, like, silly things that some of my FF7 friends have joked about is when you're playing FF7 Remake, one of the, news anchors for the Shinra news kind of looks like he also could be a Shinra half-sibling. You're just like, he probably could be!
Yup.
Yep. Long story short, the president got around. No one is surprised about this. Oh, this is going to be a little weird. Actually, let me make this not pure black so I can take care of the eye. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the crown pure black as a stylistic choice. But I'm going to do that after I've colored in the eye so I can actually see where the eye is. Because the eye is going to be the same bright red that the lamb's eyes are going to be.
Shoutouts to Schala for always bringing the good vibes to everything.
Oh, thank you. I try to bring good vibes. I mean, here you go, I'll go on this little, I'm not gonna call it a rant, but, like, basically I feel that, video game charity marathons are, like, basically, like, the best thing that the video game community does, bar none. I love the idea of melding a hobby like this and using it purely to help people and to do good in this world. And I feel that, that is sort of kind of like the best thing you can do with anything that you love, is to use it to do good. So, because of that, I really enjoy marathons. But also, look, we have all of our flat colors done.
Hell yeah!
So we can kind of see, how this is going to pan out. And then I could actually turn on the sketch. You can see that where the fire is going to be.
Excellent.
Yes. So I do hope that this will get a lot of fun usage out of it.
They look so cute and so evil.
I love cute evil things, though.
Great.
That is unironically one of, like, my favorite sort of, like, character design things. It's something that looks really cute, but, like, is actually, like, secretly evil. Shoutouts to Kyubey of Madoka Magica, who's my favorite example of that type of character archetype.
I mean, I definitely don't think this emote is secretly evil.
No, it's not, actually.
I still happen to have a soft spot for my example of that character archetype from the Disney animated show Dave the Barbarian.
Oh my god, Dave the Barbarian, I love that show.
Dark Lord Chuckles, the silly piggy.
I do. Dark Lord. No. Okay, so obviously Dark Lord Chuckles, the silly piggy, fabulous character, absolutely. However, Twinkle the Wonder Horse.
Also legit. That one is the slightly deeper cut, so.
For folks who have never seen this show, it was a pretty weird little, like, Disney animated series. But the character I was studying, Twinkle, is it the Wonder Horse or the Marble Horse? It's something like that. But basically, imagine, like, your pretty princess, like, unicorn, and then, but then voiced by Christopher Walken. and forever having, like, existential nightmares.
Yep.
Okay.
That whole show is just a choice.
Yeah, the long and short of it, to just do the quick pitch, is imagine Disney Saturday morning cartoon taking just a complete riff on every, like, 80s fantasy trope.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It's about a bunch of like barbarians who it's like 3 barbarian teenagers who have kind of been left without their parents.
and are also royalty for some reason, and
yes.
the shenanigans that come from that.
Yes.
Because if I recall from the theme song, their parents are off, like, adventuring or something.
Yeah. But anyway, I definitely do feel that for a lot of... I was already, like, on the older side when that show came out. I'm sure that for a number of viewers, Dave was their first himbo.
Ooh, that... But I mean, Disney also, about the same time, gave us the archetypical himbo.
Kronk?
Yeah, shout outs to my boy Kronk.
Kronk is fantastic. Now, here you go. If we're talking, like, Disney television series, did you ever watch the Emperor's New Groove television show?
A little bit.
I watched a decent amount of the episodes. It was very silly, but no one is surprised. I still stand that I know a lot of people are going to argue that Gargoyles is the best Disney animated series, and you would definitely be, like, you know, in the right. But I feel that, well, that one for, like, original IP. I feel that for, like, elaborating off a movie, the Aladdin series was actually really fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, like, the thing that always made me salty about Disney animated shows would be when they would release air quote sequel movies that are just 3 episodes stitched together with a loose attempt at an overarching plot.
It's like, no.
Chat calling out George of the Jungle.
Also a good choice. I think the long and the short of it is that we've just watched way too many cartoons.
Yeah. Why do you think we get along?
This is true. We also watch a lot of anime. At least, well, I haven't watched as much as I was, like, before. I did get to, I went to go visit my partner, Oren. And what we like to do is, like, if I'm visiting them, is we pick an anime series and we just binge the entire thing. So we watched the new Trigun anime.
Ooh, how was it?
The best way I can kind of describe it is it's not exactly the original series, the original, like, animated series, and it's not exactly the manga. It's kind of its own, like, take on Trigun. Which it does make some interesting choices for sure. But overall, I think it does what it does very well. We actually watched the dub, and the dub was fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, they got back, like, some of, like, the original dub actors to come back for it. And obviously a whole bunch of new folks, too. Though, the one thing I will say is that it definitely does not pull its punches. We'll leave it there. It definitely gets dark, for sure.
Yeah, I've just been watching a lot of the new... Zoe and I watched a bunch of the new releases from last season together as they were airing, which was always a ton of fun.
It is a ton of fun. I started doing that. I need to actually go back and finish. I was watching High Card and Buddy Daddies. I need to actually go back and finish those.
Yeah, like... The big show I got really into recently was Birdie Wing.
Oh yes, lesbian golf.
Lesbian golf operating off Yu-Gi-Oh's world rules.
Hey, that sounds great.
Right? It is incredible. I was a wreck when the second to last episode came out because of where they went with things, and I'm just like, yeah. why do you do this to my heart?
Oh, I know that feel.
Fine.
My
I want to cut in really quickly, and then you can go back to talking about anime and cartoons.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I want to mention to everyone in the chat, we are nearing the end of this showcase. So you only have maybe 10 minutes to help decide that Sonic 1 Forever character. Currently, Amy is in the lead at $67 to Sonic at $60.01. But if you want Sonic to overtake, or if you want to make absolutely sure Amy is the character choice for Sonic 1 Forever, you only have about 10 minutes to get your donations in for that. So I just wanted to make sure that I call that out.
No, you're good. Always
And-
donate early.
And often.
Yes, don't try to snipe. Because processing times are a thing.
The number of times we've had last-minute snipes that were not possible at that point is very sad. So please don't do that.
Yes. And it is worth noting that this gets to choose the character for Sonic forever.
Forever.
Sonic 1 Forever.
It'll be the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog all over again otherwise. Not really. But anyway, shoot, we're talking anime.
Yeah.
I have to. Oh, I was about to say my favorite like experience with the second to last episode, like messing with you. I'll shout out two of those experiences. The first one being Tiger and Bunny season 1, which definitely played with everyone's heartstrings when it came to the second to last episode. To the point where being in the fandom at that time was, oh boy, that was a thing.
People were having moments, I assumed.
People were having a lot of moments. Well, I don't want to spoil it because I do feel that Tiger and Bunny is worth watching. It is something where I always have to kind of like put the caveat of the first season like aired like 13 years ago, and it does have like some missteps in it.
Jesus, it's that long ago now.
I know.
I did not need to think about that number today, Schala.
Don't trust me. Think about how I feel.
I believe you. I believe.
I will say that by the second movie and then the second season, a lot of its issues that it had with like how it wrote its queer characters got resolved, and resolved like hardcore. I mean, they like really did right by their queer characters later on. Is what I'll say.
Oh yeah.
The other one, which now I know obviously this is one of Zoe's favorites now, is the second to last episode of Sarah Zanmai.
Yes, which Zoe has showed me all of.
Yes, like episode 10 is just like, oh, okay, that was just a whole bunch of everything, wasn't it?
Right?
to put it mildly. Also, please watch Sarah Zanmai. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of those sort of things though, where I'm like, please watch X or please play X. But that's because I'm like an anti-gatekeeper. I am like the gate opener. Like, if there's something that I like, I want to encourage other people to experience it.
Yeah, like, I'm always of the opinion of new friend to talk about the thing with.
Yes. Like, Leggy has definitely put up with me trying to be like, Leggy, you should, like, listen to or watch or play, like, this, that, or the other. Though occasionally I will do, I'm just going to summarize this series for you so you don't have to sit through all of it.
I need to cut in really quick. We just got a $25 donation from Ignorant Spoon that says, Never-ending Sonic, huh? Well, alright. And that donation went towards Sonic for the character choice, meaning that Sonic is now in the lead. $85.01 to $67. So everyone who was hoping for Amy, get your donations in quick! We don't have much time!
Hurry up!
Like I was saying earlier, this is Lady Arcaders. I personally feel Amy should be our choice, but now that might not happen. So if you even have just a couple of dollars you can throw in the pot, it's obviously also going towards a great cause, but help us get Amy, please?
I mean, of course Sonic's pulling ahead. He's the fastest thing there is.
Fastest thing alive. I mean,
Also,
I think a bunch of us watched the Sonic, cartoon series.
definitely a little bit.
Definitely a little bit. I remember when it like aired, so that lets y'all know how old I am.
Mm-hmm.
Also here, since we're probably I know we're going to be wrapping this up soon, I'm going to do something fun. Which is that I'm going to build a new layer real quick. I actually need that one open. So that way we can do this before we have to go. So we're going to need to select here within this layer. So we're going to duplicate this, and then remember how I said you could just move stuff from layers? Move selection to layer effects, please. Thank you.
Ooh.
Now they're going to bleed over the edges a little bit. That's fine. We don't mind about that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go back over to our fill panel. And we're going to... There we go!
Also, let's face it, bleeding over is kind of on theme.
Yeah, so what we did is we added a blur effect on top to get those glowing red eyes that the lamb is known for.
Yes.
Yes. I realize I still haven't done anything with the bell, but that's fine. I'm going to save the bell for when I'm working on this later. What is our time?
1:31.
Oh, yeah. Basically, at 1:31.
Okay, we should probably wrap it up then. That's a good place to wrap it up with. So thank you all again for all the donations, for all the support. As a reminder, the emote will be finished. It will just be finished after the Lady Arcaders Super Showcase, and I'll sort of turn the sketch layer back on so that we will have flames behind the lamb as well. For full chaos mode. And then it will be uploaded as an emote that you can use if you are subscribed to Lady Arcaders.
Chaos.
Chaos!
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was fun, it was awesome, and we raised a bunch of money.
We did! Thank you all so much! I guess we have to do our shoutouts real quick. You can find me at twitch.tv/SchalaKitty. I haven't done art streams in a little bit, but I hope to get back to them among trying to chase the Haven World Record and maybe learning Crisis Core Reunion, because I think that would be really fun. And I also will be back for the showcase tonight. I will be your host for both Muse Dash and for Beatmania. And Leggy, where can we find you?
Anywhere Leggy Starscreams are sold. But yeah, no, I do a lot of these days I've been focusing more on RPG speedruns, including Super Lesbian Animal RPG. I was here recently showcasing that. I've got FF1 Pixel Remaster and RPG Limit Break that I'm gonna have to start practicing a bit more of too. But yeah, just look for my name, and that's probably me.
We hope it's you anyway, and not some
I hope
imposter
it's
who's going to take over the good name of Leggy Starscream, and then they will be the leader of the Decepticons.
Leggy Starscream has fallen. I, Leggy Starscream, now lead the Decepticons, I guess?
Exactly! But thank you all again for hosting us. Please stay tuned for the Sonic block, which I think will be a lot of fun.
Yes, that Sonic block is coming up. That bid war, the character bid war, is going to cut off very soon. So if you have any last minute donations, maybe to get Amy back in the lead, get those in. But go ahead, stretch. We will be right back with more awesome Lady. Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. just wanted to remind you who we are, what we're doing, all of that. So this is Lady Arcaders Super Showcase 2023, and maybe you're wondering, what is Lady Arcaders? Who are Lady Arcaders? Lady Arcaders is an all-women's gaming collective that runs weekly showcases and the occasional charity event, like this one. We strive to uplift and encourage women in their gaming endeavors by cultivating a supportive environment in which to showcase their talents. And of course, we are raising money for CARE. CARE invests 9 out of every $10 directly in programs. Your investment not only meets immediate needs, but goes towards lasting solutions in the 110 countries and counting that CARE operates in, working alongside women and girls to defeat poverty and achieve gender justice. So I know, we're here for gaming, and I've been pushing things like maybe we can get Amy in Sonic 1 Forever. That bid war is still open for, another minute or two. But regardless, all of this money is going towards a great cause. So even if you have just a couple of dollars, definitely feel free to type !donate in chat, follow that link. And do remember, you can put those donations towards the incentives, like the character choice, or that Beat Mania 2DX Infinitas extra stage later. But stick around, we're setting up. Sonic 1 Forever will be soon.